talked earlier this morning on the morning huddle. It was a lot of fun listening to his interactions with AJ and Rob, especially his little dig at AJ. If you were there, you heard it. If not, don't worry. I'm about to play it for you because Mike Elko was a guest with AJ and Rob early this morning on the morning huddle. And when he was asked about not overlooking opponents, he had a very, very poignant answer for one AJ Hoffman.
What's the buzz like around on campus these days? I mean, you've got to be feeling like a king in the castle, right?
Well, yeah, it feels good to be back. Obviously, it's been 5 weeks since we played a game in Kyle Field, so I think it's nice to finally be home and getting ramped up for a really talented South Carolina game. But I know the fans will be out this weekend, and Kyle Field will be rocking.
You know that 5 weeks looked daunting at the beginning of the season, as it's done, and obviously quite successful. What was the thing that surprised you the most about the last month on the road that you didn't think you were going to see?
Yeah, I don't know about surprised. I was just proud of our consistency. Proud of how we went in, week out, attacked the game, went into some different types of hostile environments and found ways to come out with wins. And, we know how hard that is to do in the SEC. It's been a long time since Texas A&M has won 4 straight road games.
Well, and with the exception of the Arkansas game, this road trip was complete domination. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen an A&M team go into LSU or a Missouri and do what you guys did there. And I would argue the final scores were closer than what the games felt like. The Missouri game certainly didn't feel like just a 3-score game. Do you think that this is the best stretch of football your guys have played so far?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're hopefully starting to hit our stride. Obviously, it's a week in, week out process, and we've got to go out and do it every single week. But I feel like we're hitting our stride. I feel like we're coming together and gelling as a team. I think you've seen all 3 sides of the ball function together a little bit more consistently. See the last couple of weeks, and now we got to go out and we got to finish this last 3-game stretch.
South Carolina presents their own bit of issues. You got another mobile quarterback coming in that has had some issues this year, but we've had a taste of what he's capable of from last. What did we learn from last year? What are your expectations? What are you going to try to do to him this week?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big physical, athletic kid. We missed 21 tackles on him last year, so we learned it firsthand. And I think our ability to understand how and what we're trying to do, getting him to the ground, will be, the most important factor on Saturday for us.
Now, this South Carolina game, a lot of people are looking at this as now you guys got through that road trip. Now you can take a little bit of breath here. South Carolina's not playing up to what the expectation was for them. Then obviously you get an FCS opponent in Samford before Texas. Are you trying to keep your guys from looking forward, especially now that we're getting to these standings and things like that, and people are already talking about, okay, well, what happens on November 28th? And is it hard to keep your guys locked in on South Carolina and Samford before you get to that game against Texas?
Yeah, it shouldn't be. I think if you look around at football every single week, I think you can clearly identify the teams that made that mental decision that this week was going to be easy, and you could see what happened to them. No disrespect to the Buffalo Bills, but you saw it just this last Sunday with Buffalo and Miami, right? Like, that's football every single week. That records don't mean anything. You got 3.5 hours to go figure out who's going to win that specific football game. And so we point those things out. I think our guys are very aware of those types of things and what it takes each week to go out and win a football game.
Well, Coach, as a lifelong Bills fan, you just kicked me in the nuts. So appreciate that.
But a valuable lesson learned.
Anything I could do to liven up the morning.
He's here to set a bar. You just got to jump over it. That's Coach Mike Elko joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star. Now, we saw we got the second iteration of the playoff things out there. And now you guys are being talked about as being under a value that you're probably worth a number 2 spot. I saw some number 1 votes out there. I know you're not paying any attention to it, but when you start looking at the rankings, how much does it matter right now, knowing that, there's some things that are allowing you a little bit of leeway? Do you let that creep into your mind?
Yeah, I don't think you let it creep into your mind. Obviously, I think there's a massive challenge that we have in college football trying to figure out when you compare apples to oranges to bananas, like, how you do that. And I think that what we're looking for as coaches is some type of consistency in how that's happening. And everything we heard this offseason was about scheduling metrics and strength of schedule and strength of record metrics. And And so we go out and we play at Notre Dame, and we just need to know what the parameters are, and it's going to be even more important when we move forward and we start playing 9 SEC games, how they're going to get viewed and how people are going to start looking at things. You look at Mississippi State, who beat one of the better teams in the Big 12 this year. Like, how does that get valued? We got to figure that stuff out.
Yeah, what's interesting is the Aggies right now are in sort of a catbird seat where you're actually, I would assume you're actually hoping that Notre Dame does do well and wins the rest of their games because it does nothing but boost your resume, whereas every other team below you is hoping that Notre Dame loses, so another spot opens up in these playoff mixes. Is it kind of weird to, like, depending on where you're sitting at in the standings, who you're cheering for week to week and who you're hoping falls off, or do you even pay attention and just say that chips are going to fall where they will?
Yeah, I think the nice thing is with the system, we can control our own destiny. I think that's kind of where you do feel like we've made progress, because we know if we can go out and take care of what we need to take care of on the field, it's going to give us a spot in the playoff. And then in the playoff, you're going to have to go win football games on the field, and it's not going to matter who ranks who where. And so that part, I think, is how we focus. We focus on South Carolina and how to go and beat South Carolina, because that's the only thing that we can control right now.
Coming up with the South Carolina game, certainly the last SEC game before Texas, and then Samford. I'm always curious when you have a game like Samford, and the quote is, hey, it's senior day. It's a chance for everybody to get to play, but you want to maintain momentum. How are you looking forward to what isn't an off week, but is in fact a game in preparation for Texas? How do you measure guys, or does South Carolina not even play into what you do for Samford?
No, I mean, I don't think anything matters other than us playing to our standard every single week. I think that's what you talk about. And so we think it's really, really important for us each week to play to the level that we're capable of. That's how we evaluate. That's how we grade. We don't look at scores. We don't look at results. We look at our process. And so from that perspective, the process is the same every single week. And so that's what we choose to focus on.
In the preseason at SEC Media Days, the poll for what the season was going to look like was Texas, Georgia, Bama, LSU, South Carolina, Florida, Ole Miss, then Texas A&M. South Carolina projected to be the 5th best team in the SEC preseason, and here they are with one conference win. They are right now the 2nd worst team in the conference. But because they were picked 5, this team has some talent, right, Coach? This is not the kind of game you would want your guys to overlook. And is it easy to look back and say, hey, man, remember, these guys have some good that probably helps, actually. Does it help even to know that they beat you last year and to help your guys lock into this team that if you just look at the record next to their name, you go, these guys are no good?
Yeah, and again, this is what we know in the SEC. In the SEC, everybody has NFL players, and that's what makes this league so challenging. And so, if you look in depth to what they've done, they've played 4 straight games against teams who were ranked in the top 14 or higher when they played them. No one else in any other conference does that. And so, it's easy to say, oh, they're 3-6, so they must not be a good football team. But I bet if you gave them some of the schedules of some of the teams ranked in the top 15 or 20 this year, you'd see them in a much better place right now.
I was curious about game plan last week, Coach. You were spreading the ball wide to start the game. Lots of, there were run plays, but you're passing it out to your wide receivers or your backs to get them moving. Was that by design? Did you see something against Missouri, or is that just another part of the game that you were trying to highlight that quite frankly is a valuable weapon that we might need to see more of?
Yeah, I think it's always based on the game. We have skilled kids on the perimeter. We felt like that was an advantage for us in that game. We felt like their D-line was really talented and could cause us some problems. And so, you try to get the ball into your skilled kids' hands and let them impact the game. I think we had over 150 yards after catch last week. And, we thought that would be a critical piece of the game, and it turned out to be that we were right.
Coach, the one thing Missouri did well last week was run the football. And my thought was I didn't think they'd run the football at all, because I just assumed you guys were saying if this 3rd-string quarterback beats us, then so be it, but we're going to stop the run. What was the defensive game plan going in? Was it to just make them into a running team and hope that your offense was going to be able to outscore them?
No, I don't think we ever want to just have the offense outscore them. I think, obviously, I think part of it was we gave up the big run on the first play, and that was just something that we could have done a little bit better. And then I thought we settled into a decent rhythm. Then we got a 3-score lead early in the second half. And I think at that point, the way you play the game changes. And so, you don't quite sell out the same way to stop the run when you're up 3 scores. And, and I think we could have executed that part of the plan a lot better.
As we get closer and closer to playoffs in Texas and all that, and we start looking at health, Le'Veon Moss is the first one that comes to most people's minds. Do you think we might see him by the day after Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's I think he's starting to progress. I think he's starting to move around a little bit, and probably still a little bit too early to tell when exactly he'll be able to get out there on the field and carry the ball the way he's comfortable. But we're making progress, so we'll kind of see what it looks like.
Looks like I'm going to try to give you this chance every week, but it looks like right now, if New York called some people today, it would be the quarterbacks of the 4 teams at the top 4 right now in the playoff rankings. Do you want to stump for your guy Marcel Reed real quick again?
Yeah, I think I heard this stat. I think in our 4 away games, he's averaging over 300 yards of total offense a game. He's got 13 touchdowns and 3 turnovers, and he's a reason why we're in first place in the SEC. And so all of that tends to lead to him taking a trip up to New York to be part of the Heisman ceremony. And obviously there's 3 games still to play. He's got to continue to play at the level he's playing at. We got to continue to win football games. But as things currently stand right now, I think he absolutely belongs in New York.
Do you want to say anything bad about Ty Simpson or any of these other players that talk about how they don't deserve it, or do you just want to leave it there?
No, I think we'll leave it where it's at. I think we'll leave it where it's at. We'll let all of you guys come up with all your random thoughts on why.
Don't let facts get in the way of a good story, Coach.
That is head coach of the Texas A&M Aggies, Mike Elko. Coach, we appreciate the time. Thank you, and best of luck this week, and hopefully you guys keep the train rolling.
Dig 'em, Coach.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Have a good weekend.
Yes, sir. That's Mike Elko. Right here, all guests appear via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades providing traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com.
Good stuff from Mike Elko this morning on the Morning Huddle. Of course, if you missed any of that, you can catch it in our audio vault, powered by AA Best Bail Bonds at sasportstar.com. When we come back, though, another man joined us earlier today on the Blitz to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. It was our first public comments, really, from the star, as Brian Schottenheimer faced the media today, and RJ Ochoa on this team getting ready to play a game just, short week after the tragic passing of a brother of theirs and Marshawn Nealon. How do they get ready for the Raiders and finish out this season? Plus, reports are franchise tag looking strongly likely for one wide receiver, George Pickens. What are his thoughts on how the Cowboys may handle business this offseason? That's all coming up right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and AARP Texas are sending Cowboy fans to Jerry World to see America's team play all season long. How do you get in on the action? Head to sasportstar.com now and register to win. sasportstar.com. Live it up with the boys in the Big D from AARP Texas and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even I added too much water to the pizza dough day?
Yep.
How about getting a call from my daughter to pick her up at the airport because her boyfriend is unreliable day?
Especially that day.
What about finding out that one of my pipes suddenly burst in my basement day?
Progressive has every day covered 24/7 with a Home and Auto Bundle. Also, you have a lot of bad days.
Oh no, that was all the same day.
At least you're covered with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Oh, hey, welcome to gift wrapping. Whoa, Zoe Saldana.
Hey, can you wrap these, please?
Wow, iPhone 17s. You splurged.
At T-Mobile, you can get 4 iPhone 17s on them. It's the perfect gift for everyone.
I'm the worst. I only got my mom a robe.
Well, it's better than socks.
So I have to trade in my old phone, right?
No, at T-Mobile, there's no trade-ins needed when you switch. Keep your old phone or give it as a gift.
Incredible.
In fact, wrap up my old phone too. For my Aunt Rosa. Forget that. Aunt Liz will be jealous.
Sounds like my family. Drama.
Oh, I got it. I'll give it to my abuela. I'll take reindeer paper with, hey, where are you going?
To T-Mobile. Thanks, Zoe. The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Get 4 iPhone 17s on us. No trade-in needed when you switch. Plus 4 lines for just $25 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 4 eligible port-ins on essentials for well-qualified customers. Auto pay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end in balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 256 gigabytes, $830 required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-888-5226. 800-888-5226. 800-888-5226.
Davis Law Firm secures important verdicts and settlements for Texans hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck. Many in the millions of dollars. No case is too big or too small. And remember, there's no fee unless we win. So if you want more, call the Fours. Davis Law Firm San Antonio, 444-4444.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. Appreciate y'all joining me this evening as I take you up to 7 o'clock. And don't forget, at 8 o'clock, we do have, after just hearing from the head coach of the Texas A&M Aggies, Andrew Monaco. We'll sit down with him on the Mike Elko Coaches Show. That's coming up at 8 o'clock tonight right here on your home for the Aggies, brought to you by Just Pots, as they get ready for their game against South Carolina at Kyle Field this weekend, a game you can catch right here. But another team getting ready for a game and under completely different circumstances is the Dallas Cowboys, as they're dealing with the tragic passing of Marshawn Nealon, who took his own life almost a week ago tomorrow. And a lot for players, coaches, staff, loved ones, people to wrap their heads around. And I close out the show every day, and I mean it. Call your loved ones, check on them. You never know what people are going through in life. And Marshawn Kneeland was apparently going through it, and nobody knew. And earlier today on the Blitz, RJ Ochoa of bloggingtheboys.com talked with Jason and Joe about the Dallas Cowboys as they get set to play in a very big Monday Night Football game against the Las Vegas Raiders, with their season hanging in the balance, and how they're going to be dealing with grief and focus and everything all at the same time.
I thought it was a great line from Brian Schottenheimer today relative to, we're not going to move on, but we do have to move forward, paraphrasing what he said. And what a great perspective, because how do you take what happened with Marshawn Kneeland and get ready to go play football?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's I know you both agree, a dumb question, right? Like it's silly to talk about football, relative to this, but it has to happen, right? Like that's their job, and that's what's up next. And I think that they all have just kind of reconciled that, not to equate the things in any way, obviously, but I think the week was just, they coming off this loss, and then these massive trades, and and then this happens, and it just really puts everything in perspective. And so I think that I think the way you try to move forward is you understand you're there for one another, and that's all you have, and you lean on each other, you talk to one another, you help everyone how you can, and after this game, you take what comes next and whatever challenge that is, and you face it the same way.
I find it interesting, RJ, that the fact that it was a bye week, and I don't know if that made it, obviously it's not any worse either way, and that sounds stupid to say anyway, but it's like, I don't know, getting back on the field right away, it almost seems like just for at least that 3-hour time period, you forget about it in a weird way. But having to now stew in this thing, and I know they've had meetings, I don't know what's better for the team moving forward, that they had the bye week or to get back in right away. It's going to be interesting to watch this team, though, Monday night.
Yeah, and I think, people talk about death in general and say, one of the worst things about it is you have to remember it so many different times, right? Like you do, like you talked about, you have a stage, or whether it's a 3-hour window or a 5-minute window where you forget about something and then you remember it, you have to deal with it again. And I do think that the Cowboys seem prepared for that, for the challenge of that, I should say, in that, this game's on the road. And so it's the first game. And then next week it's first game at home, right? For first time in the home locker room. And then immediately after it's Thanksgiving, which carries a different set of emotions and holiday things and feelings. And so it is something that they're all going to permanently be dealing with, with one another and together, and just kind of trying to handle as best as they can. I think everyone has handled it as best as they can, and offering that there's no right way, there's no wrong way, there's just, a way forward, to Jason's point about what Shotty said.
RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Historically, the Cowboys as an organization really good after a bye, 24-12. We don't know what Shotty's like after a bye. It's the first time he's been the head coach. Obviously, with the Kneeland situation, whatever your bye week plans were, they were interrupted, to say the very least, as far as prep and whatnot. But what do you expect from this team? I mean, they've got 2 new defensive players in Williams and Wilson. How quickly can you expect any kind of impact from those guys? Offensively, what do you expect, getting that offensive line some rust? And I don't know about you. I just want to see him go play football.
Yeah, I think that offensively we'll see a little bit more synchronization and harmony, kind of like the earlier parts of the season. I think they just kind of got off foot and were left-footed for a while after just kind of a misstep. And so this gives a chance to, you're right, obviously the week that it's been, kind of towards that, but gives them a chance to reset how they look at football. And I do anticipate that on offense. I do wonder what defense is going to look like, just because you do have Quinnen Williams. And I worry that there's this pressure that you feel like Quinnen has to go out and have like a 3-sack night or something like that. I think you just got to keep everything in front of you. I mean, this is, just go put the ball in the fairway. Nobody needs this to be a 300-yard drive. You know what I mean? Just swing straight. That's kind of what you have to do. And I think that has to be your approach for the rest of the season. Again, just talking about football, because you've dug yourself this hole. I mean, the odds of you being a playoff team are incredibly low. They're not impossible, but you can't get in over your skis. And I think, there's a lot obviously going on, but I don't want to say underrated, but a narrative or a headline of talking point here is that this is Brian Schottenheimer and Pete Carroll. I mean, this is his proclaimed mentor. And so you do wonder if there's a pressure to, make Dad proud or whatever, make Pete proud. And so there's a lot going on, or that will be going on, across 3.5 hours.
Well, I think Quinnen Williams it came at the right time. And again, I applaud that trade. I think it was a good one. Logan Wilson, I don't know. It can't hurt, certainly. I think it is an upgrade from what they have. But with Ashton Jeanty running the football for the Las Vegas Raiders, and I think Pete Carroll's going to do a lot of that. I just to keep Dak Prescott and company off the field as much as he possibly can. So we're going to get – I think the two new defensive players are going to get tested right away.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be let's be clear. It was foolish for anyone to believe that Ashton Jeanty was better than Cam Pettigrew last year. But this is going to be the game where everybody, feels justified in that claim. I think that's our worst fear. And that would be, look, the Raiders have had a down year. I mean, just a really, really, really down year. And I mean, wouldn't it just be the best feeling ever for them? Like, I think about how stupid the Cardinals must have felt for all that too easy, chatter they had going on when they were getting their doors blown off by Seattle. You know what I mean? Like, they had to feel really ridiculous. And that probably will be Raiders, right? Like, I mean, could you not see, I don't know if Jeanty's on Jason's fantasy team or not, but him having like a 36-point fantasy night and then dropping a goose egg the next week.
I mean, I wish he was, because right now any offensive player playing the Cowboys is a must start. But when I look at the Raiders offense, they're 31st in scoring, 30th in total yards, 29th in rushing yards. Now the Cowboys defense, they're 31st in points allowed, 31st in yards allowed, and 28th in rushing. Raiders offense isn't great, but they probably are going to look great Monday night against the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, like, we've all been starving, you know what I mean? And then gone to some place and sworn it was the best meal you've ever had in your life. You know what I mean? And then been back, and it's like, this really wasn't that great. But the situation, certainly allowed it to feel and taste better than it was. And that's who the Cowboys defense are. They're the first bit of food when you're starving, and they will make you feel tall. They will make you feel proud. And I think that's where, look, again, we don't have to say a million times that the football is secondary here, but the wheels really could fall off for them. I think we're all anticipating a win. I'm sure you're both going to predict the Cowboys to win. I know I am. And for the success waters to stabilize a bit. But what if they don't? What if they go out and they just get handled again, and then they're 3-6-1, and the Eagles are coming to town with the Chiefs right around the corner on Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah, that's kind of scary. This is a game you need to win with those two coming in, without a doubt. Now, it was mentioned yesterday, RJ, that Siobhan Revell and DeMarvion Overshown have been activated. And there are those, Ed Werder was one that they expect to see some playing time on Monday night. How much playing time do you expect for either one of those guys?
I hope not much, for their sake, to be clear. These are two players who are coming off of very serious injuries, one of whom, in Siobhan Revell, has never even played in the NFL. And so if you're expecting these to be your knights in shining armor, I don't think you're being fair to everyone involved, but obviously specifically them. I think that Revell will get in on a couple of snaps, and I think Overshown will make a splash play, and that will have everyone feeling, warm and fuzzy inside. But these have to be situations that you take with patience, and that has not been a disposition that this organization has been fond of in recent history.
No, and that's the help that we've been hearing all year that's coming. And if they're cleared to play, I'm with you, RJ, to kind of ease them in. But if you're cleared to play, go play. And, I don't know if Eberflus really has much of an option. And again, we can spend all the time in the world talking about the defense and can they be better or whatever. I'm still concerned about the offense because the last 2 games, this high-scoring offense has been anything but. I know they got 24 against Denver in that 44-24 loss. Last time out, they scored 10 whole points. Remember, it was Marshawn Kneeland on special teams that got that other touchdown. I'm more concerned about, can this offense get back on track? They can outscore the Raiders if we see the Cowboys offense we expect to see.
Yeah, and I think that's, really what you hate to say what doomed them, because it was, a lot of things. But and I know we talked about it last week, those early missteps on offense against both the Broncos and Cardinals, just kind of, that's what dug the hole, right? And after that, it started to fill up with water and get deeper and deeper and deeper. And all of a sudden it's halftime and you're down multiple possessions. And that's difficult enough as is, let alone when you have the defense that you do. And so it's unfair, like to be very clear, it's inordinately unfair to ask Dak Prescott and Brian Schottenheimer to be perfect on offense. But that's it. Like that's the job this year. And I don't think either one of them would turn it down, even if they knew that that's what they were being asked. And I think they would both did and have admitted that they failed the last 2 weeks. But if you want a puncher's chance, not even a good chance, but a puncher's chance, you've got to get out from the jump, put some points on the board, and then give your defense an opportunity to punch from above.
All right, RJ. Dan Graziano reporting today a strong likelihood that the Cowboys are going to franchise tag Pickens in the offseason. Good move?
It's very dumb if that's what they wind up doing. From the perspective of, they don't have any pending contract drama because Mozzie Smith was so bad of a first-round pick in 23, and obviously they've traded him away. But so there's no, first-round dude who's reaching eligibility for the first time that you have to take care of. There's nothing like that. The only contract situation that's pending, I guess you could put Brandon Aubrey there, but I think we kind of feel like that will get done, although that's a risky thought here, is this. I mean, just do it. Like, why are you going to play that game? Why are you going to go down this road? And I think that would really, I think that a lot of people are willing to still swallow their emotions and say, fine, you have played your stupid games and you're here now, but you've got Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson. You have this 2-year window in 26 and 27. Don't mess it up. Having to tag Pickens would be step one of messing it up. Not getting a contract extension done would be step one of having to mess it up. There's just no reason to go about this. You don't have a 3rd-round pick this coming year, and you should be grateful you don't, because you have this all-world superstar receiver. So pay him. Don't drag it out. Just be normal for once and move on and be rid of all this toxic behavior.
That was RJ Ochoa earlier today on the Blitz. And if you missed any of that, go check it out in the audio vault at sasportstar.com, because, man, he's not wrong. I mean, I get playing it out $29 million, but every year that passes, as we've seen, those numbers go up. So how much are you saving by dragging this out? And then there is, like we saw with Micah Parsons, the actual human side of things, to where, how upset do you make a player by dragging this thing out? Just get it over with, get it done, and go into a season with no drama for once. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Spurs getting ready to tip off. But other than their 8-2 start and a couple of games coming up against the Warriors, what are your thoughts on this team to this point? We'll discuss when we come back right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Dallas Cowboys fans, come on down! It's AJ and Rob from the Morning Huddle, and you could be the next contestant on
The Stat Is Right. Every week leading up to the week of the Cowboys home game, AJ and Rob toss out a Cowboys player and a stat from the upcoming home game. Passing yards, rushing yards, number of times Dak adjusts his wristband mid-play, or perhaps CeeDee Lamb mouthguard chews per quarter. Whatever. All you have to do is predict that stat, get the closest, and bam! You're headed to Jerry World with a pair of tickets to the next Cowboys home game. Think of it like The Price is Right, but instead of winning a blender, you get to scream, "How about them Cowboys?" inside AT&T Stadium. So study up, Cowboy Nation, and listen to the Morning Huddle to play. The Stat is Right, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Have pain? Have chronic pain, low back pain, knee pain, neck pain, or shoulder pain? I can help. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we get to the root of your pain. We don't just give pain medications. We do the proper investigation to see what is the root cause, and it's covered by your insurance. Reduce your medication, avoid surgery, and get rid of pain for good. Call for your free evaluation. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, where we get to the root cause of your problem. 210-468-1891.
Smoky Mo's Texas Barbecue, the best neighborhood barbecue in San Antonio, is now taking orders for Thanksgiving smoked turkeys and holiday parties. Hurry! Our whole smoked turkeys sell out every year. Order a freshly smoked, perfectly seasoned turkey and add heat at home with delicious sides for your best Thanksgiving dinner ever. Smoky Mo's is your holiday catering specialist. Check out our holiday catering menu at SmokyMo'sBarbecue.com or call a Smoky Mo's near you. Don't wait. Head to SmokyMo'sBarbecue.com today.
George Gets Justice. The holidays should bring warmth and family together, not an unexpected trip to the hospital after being hit by a careless driver. If this happens this holiday season, you need to get George. George Salinas Injury Lawyers handle everything, so you can focus on what really matters, being with the people you love. And remember, you only pay if they win. Call 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George Gets Justice. GetGeorge.com. Principal Office, San Antonio.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6 for the perfect ride to work on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Yeah, go ahead and check them out tomorrow morning at 6 because it's likely you'll find out they'll say something that may trigger you, you may agree with. Like earlier this morning, they were talking about the Spurs, their 8-2 start, and how to capitalize on that. And in doing so, they brought up the fact that don't get too attached to any of these players, not named Wemby, because if you want to make the best version of this team, you might have to send them packing.
You know, when the Spurs traded for De'Aaron Fox, the Mavericks probably should have been the ones trying to trade for De'Aaron Fox. Like,
if they'd have known, yeah.
And I've also heard people talk about De'Aaron Fox potentially being a guy that the Mavericks would be interested in an Anthony Davis trade.
That goes to our earlier conversation for the Spurs, as don't get too accustomed, even though there's only one guy that is not leaving San Antonio. There's only one, and everybody else is on the board. And the Mavericks are the first of the many opportunities that are going to be afforded the Spurs, because not only do they have a current talent, well, they still got a bankroll of number ones to play with too. And the Mavericks need those ones more than they need talent.
And if a Fox deal for Anthony Davis were to happen, I mean, now you're talking the Spurs with that, they've got the best defensive front court in the NBA. If that happens, if you put those two dudes and maybe if you put those two dudes in Harrison Barnes or those two dudes and Steph Castle, like that's the best front court defensively in the NBA, period.
And that goes to the conversation that the Spurs are going to have behind the scenes. How soon do we want it? How long do we want it to last? I mean, and knowing that we can have a guy come and go, that we've got number ones going for about 4 years from now. So we still got a stash of these picks that are always going to be in the bank that we can fall back on. The decisions that the Spurs face, there are PPs, obviously. They're all going to be the opportunities. But, you know, at what point do you decide? I don't think we're ready now. But the Mavericks, I think, over the next 10 to 14 days are going to put up a for sale sign. And nothing's going to happen immediately.
You're right.
But they're going to let everybody know that these guys are available, start making some calls. And then the ripple effect from that will occur. And there's going to be three or four more teams that show up. And what do you do if you're the Spurs and you're sitting at 25-5? You go, my gosh, we're really good and we haven't had any problems. Do we get better and arm ourselves for this year?
And the Mavericks find themselves in a weird spot. And I say a weird spot. It's a bad spot because they built it this way. And Nico being fired is step one in fixing it. But you now have, because you moved on from Luka, and really Luka, the roster built around him was with the idea that we can win a championship right now. Luka is one of the 5 best players in the world. Cooper Flagg is not one of the 5 best players in the world. Cooper Flagg, I mean, it's quite frankly, it's not dissimilar to what Wemby was, you know, his rookie year. Like, you can see some stuff there,
right?
But it's a long way from coming to fruition. And why would you build a win now roster around a guy who's not ready to win? So Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, these guys just do not fit the timeline that the Mavericks need to live on.
And that changed the moment Nico got fired.
Well, I would assume. Yeah. So the assumption is all of these guys are going to be moved on sooner than later. Klay Thompson is a guy Klay Thompson is no longer a superstar player, but you put Klay Thompson on a contending team. What a great piece to have as like a depth piece.
What's a Klay Thompson worth to you?
I don't know, but would you not love to have him on this team?
Absolutely. You talk about a thing that fits what else you. It feels too.
If you could give him Champagne's minutes,
just be there to shoot when we need you. But more than that, more than anything else, the one thing the Spurs don't have that I do believe you need is somebody that's been there and done that on this roster.
Well, they have Harrison Barnes. He's kind of that guy.
You know what? I'll give him some credit, but it's been a minute. You know, he won it a long time ago. I want somebody that has been through and can talk to the guys like, you know, pace yourself. This is what we do. This is how we do it. That kind of pervades the locker room. And if you can add that kind of talent, and Klay has it, It's been a minute for him too, I guess. That would be as much reason as his shooting, quite frankly, just to have a guy in the locker room that knows what the ebb and tide of an NBA season is like for champions, not just for playing.
But my assumption is that every Mavericks fan is happy that the process has started.
It's one of those things when you have the moment of clarity and realizing the world of crap you're actually in. But at least you know, at least today, Maverick fan knows, here we are. This is it. We hit rock bottom. We knew it was coming. Our most hated man in Dallas is gone. And now we can exhale and try to start over. And at least you've got that going for you. But this Maverick team, you think it was bad before. This next year is going to be ugly.
Yeah. Brian, AJ, stop with the Anthony Davis. That dude is ass. He's not been healthy. But to say that Anthony Davis is ass is just nonsensical. Like
he is an expiring banana. He's still a good banana. But you don't get him a lot, and you're going to have to use him fast. But yeah, he will help win, and he's still got time. There's still 2-3 years left in those legs, but there'll be spot minutes, and there's going to be some time without it. But if you can afford that, you know what the benefit of that is. He's a 20-20 guy.
Yeah.
I mean, and add in 4 or 5 block shots and all the other stuff we love about Wemby. That's kind of what he does.
Yeah. And Clifton says these guys are on crack this morning. No way the Spurs are trading Fox for Davis.
No, we're not saying that. But what I'm saying is the decision is coming, gentlemen, that you're either going to play the hand that you're dealt and not take any cards, or you're going to take a card or two and give up an ace or a king. I mean, just to fill out the full house if you think you can chase it. And I think that the Spurs are going to face that decision a lot sooner than they thought they were going to.
Very interesting. Look, whether it's a role player, whether it is a superstar like Giannis Antetokounmpo, with an 8-2 start and the way this team has played, I don't know why you would consider breaking up the chemistry or even breaking up the potential. When you look at having a Fox, having a Castle, having a Dylan Harper, with the limited things that we've seen from him. I know everybody wants to jump to the finish line at some point and win championships, but you may be building something that is hard to replicate with the way some of these picks are panning out, especially with Castle and Harper and the early returns we've seen. And do you not kind of want to see that through? What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 if you want to be a part of the conversation. When we come back, though, a little bit of a nerve was hit earlier today when it came to local news stations and what's happening with sports. We'll get into it as we continue here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products or compounded drug products, which the FDA does not for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Oh, hey, welcome to gift wrapping. Whoa, Zoe Saldana.
Hey, can you wrap these, please?
Wow, iPhone 17s. You splurged.
At T-Mobile, you can get 4 iPhone 17s on them. It's the perfect gift for everyone.
I'm the worst. I only got my mom a robe.
Well, it's better than socks.
So I have to trade in my old phone, right?
No, at T-Mobile, there's no trade-ins needed when you switch. Keep your old phone or give it as a gift.
Incredible.
In fact, wrap up my old phone too. For my Aunt Rosa. Forget that. Aunt Liz will be jealous.
Sounds like my family drama.
Oh, I got it. I'll give it to my abuela. I'll take reindeer paper with, hey, where are you going?
To T-Mobile. Thanks, Sully.
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Get 4 iPhone 17s on us. No trade-in needed when you switch. Plus 4 lines for just $25 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 4 eligible port-ins on Essentials for well-qualified customers. Auto pay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end in balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 256 gigabytes, $830 required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even I added too much water to the pizza dough day?
Yep.
How about getting a call from my daughter to pick her up at the airport because her boyfriend is unreliable day?
Especially that day.
What about finding out that one of my pipes suddenly burst in my basement day?
Progressive has every day covered 24/7 with the Home and Auto Bundle. Also, you have a lot of bad days.
Oh no, that was all the same day.
At least you're covered with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-888-5226. 800-888-5226. 800-888-5226.
94.1.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. Appreciate y'all rolling along with me tonight. Ren G on our YouTube Live says AJ smoking crack during that segment this morning. Look, I question it as well. It is worth the conversation of what you're willing to do to build a contender, or and AJ has trumpeted Oklahoma City and how they're built and the fact that they are a dynasty that could potentially be in the way of everybody in the Western Conference for the next 10 years with the way that they've built that team. I remember him saying all of this as we're going through the postseason and into everybody's chasing Oklahoma City. And as we've seen how their hot start to the season, they are. Spurs are building in a similar way. And with the way that these picks have hit so far to this point, is it not smart also to set yourself up in a position to be one of those two teams that can contend for as long as the Spurs can potentially contend along with Oklahoma City with the way they're built with this young team? I don't know. Look, I'm intrigued by a Giannis or a big name star or whatever it may be as much as the next person. But I'm also intrigued by this young nucleus. And I'm intrigued by Steph Castle and Dylan Harper and what this could potentially mean for the future of the Spurs as they move forward and how long they can sustain with the growth that we're seeing from them, especially with Harper right now. I know it's a small sample size, but he jumped on the ground running. And potentially when the Fox thing does end and move on and that contract expires, there is the potential that Harper can slide right in as the next point guard of the future. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Remember, call, check on your loved ones. You never know what people are going through in life. And the simple, hey, how you doing can change everything. I appreciate all of y'all for hanging out with me tonight. Don't forget, this world is better with you in it. And, of course, Mike Elko, the Coaches Show, coming up at 8 o'clock right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for Texas A&M football, brought to you by Just Pots. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow night.
94.1 FM.
The NBA is here, guys. Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, block parties, it's all back. And it's all back with Underdog, the best place to get in on the action. Make your picks now. It's so simple at Underdog. You pick whether your favorite players will go